The next topic that we're going to discuss is about epidemiologic investigations. We have previously discussed the different community reactions, and particularly the epidemic, which we previously defined as the sudden uh, increase in the number of cases, sudden outbreak. And whenever there are disease occurrence, or there are community reactions like this, usually an epidemiologic investigation is conducted. So in this slide, we outline the epidemiologic investigation by first establishing the fact of presence of epidemic. So how do we establish the fact of the presence of epidemic? First, we verify the diagnosis of that disease, and also verify the reporting. Is there an unusual prevalence? The reporting of old and new cases. How is it? And the next is to establish time and space relationship of the disease. Okay, from the first onset, and to the from the first known case, until the current reporting. Are there cases limited, or are the cases limited to or concentrated in a particular area or a particular geographical subdivision of the affected community? Also, we try to study the relation of cases by days of onset, of first known cases, which can be reported by days, weeks, or by months. Okay? And then we also try to study the relations to the characteristics of the groups of community. Like, for example, relations of cases according to age groups, sex, color, occupation, school attendance, past immunization, or relation to sanitary facilities, especially water supply, sewage disposal, general sanitation of homes in relation to animal or insect vectors, or it could be relation to milk and food supply, or maybe relation to cases to other cases and known carriers, if any. And then the correlation of data is obtained. After correlating the data, we summarize the data clearly with the aid of or using tables and graphs and charts. So the tables and the charts or the graphical presentations are necessary to give a clearer picture of the situation. Like looking at the epidemic curve or the attack curve, or the onset of illnesses. Like in the case of the graphical presentation you have seen, in the first part of this lecture. Okay, so next is to build up the case for the final conclusion, carefully utilizing all the evidences available, which we have collated. And then next is to establish the source of the epidemic and the manner of spread if possible. Then we make suggestions based on those data that we have gathered to be able to control, if disease is still present in community, and as to the prevention of future outbreaks. All right. So amongst these investigations, it is imperative that we understand the epidemiologic triad. And in terms of epidemiologic triad, in descriptive epidemiology, this pertains to the three essential characteristics of disease, which are namely person, place, and time. So, disease occurrence and the distribution of disease occurrence in every geographical location is usually characterized according to person, place, and time. When we talk about the personal characteristics, we describe the person in terms of susceptibility or resistance against an agent of disease, which usually depends on demographic, variables or genetic or hereditary and socioeconomic variables. Okay, because personal characteristics may affect illness, organization, and analysis of data by person may use inherent characteristics of people. For example, age, sex, no, or gender, and then or race. Okay, or the person may or the analysis of data by person may be according to biological characteristics, no, like for example, the immune status, or maybe the acquired characteristics like the marital status, or according to activities like the occupation, leisure activities, use of medications or tobacco or drugs. Or it could be the person or the analysis of data by person can be according to the condition under which they live, like the socioeconomic status or the access to medical care. Okay, so age and sex are included in almost all data sets and are the two most commonly analyzed person characteristics. However, depending on the disease and the data available, analysis of other person variables are usually necessary. So epidemiologists or those conducting epidemiological investigations usually begin the analysis of person data by looking at each variable separately. But sometimes two variables such as age and sex are examined simultaneously. Okay? Now, the characteristics, which is place, no, another essential characteristics of the basic triad of descriptive epidemiology is the place, or which answers the question where. So, describing the occurrence of disease by place somehow provides insight, no, into the geographic extent of the problem and also its geographic variation. So is it geographically restricted or widespread? Is it an outbreak, epidemic, or pandemic? Is it offshore? No, like in the case of a tsunami. No? Um, Characterization by place refers not only to place of residence but to any geographic location relevant to disease occurrence. Such locations include also place of diagnosis, okay, uh, or report, birthplace, site of employment, school district, hospital unit, or recent travel destinations. The unit may be as large as a continent or country, or as small as a street address, a hospital wing, or an operating room. So sometimes place refers not to a specific location at all, but to a place category such as urban or rural, or suburban or squatter. So, or maybe domestic or foreign, and institutional or non-institutional. So basically, characteristics of place demonstrates no association of disease with place, implying that the inhabitants of the place possess characteristics of etiologic importance, different from people of other places, or that the etiologic factors are present in the biologic, chemical, physical, or social environments of the people inhabiting that place. All right. Then the occurrence of disease characterized by time, no, which is the another part, no, essential characteristic of or part of the basic triad in descriptive epidemiology. So the occurrence of disease, it is said, changes over time. Some of these changes occur regularly, while others are unpredictable. So characteristics of time describe diseases occurrence in terms of an epidemic curve or attack curve. So what is an epidemic or attack curve? It is a graphical presentation, which we have mentioned earlier. No, it is a graphical presentation of the distribution of cases by date or time of onset. So this can be in the form of short time fluctuation, a cyclic variation, or a secular variation. So what is a short time fluctuation? A short time fluctuation changes in disease frequency in very short time. And it could be of two types. So what are these two types of short time fluctuations? These are number one, point source epidemic or common source epidemic. Common source or point source epidemic is usually characterized by simultaneous exposure of a large number of susceptible to a common infectious agent, while a propagated epidemic is caused by a person-to-person transmission of disease agent. Okay? And then cyclic variation refers to recurrent fluctuations of disease frequency, which may exhibit cycles lasting for certain periods. And a secular variation refers to changes in disease frequency over a period of many years. Okay, later on when you do your skills laboratory, more examples uh, will be discussed under these different characteristics, okay, or different variation. The next epidemiologic triad is the three phenomena assessed in analytic epidemiology. No, so if time, person, and place is the basic triad of descriptive epidemiology, the host, the agent, and the environment is the triad naman of the analytic epidemiology. So we have mentioned that in terms of analytic epidemiology, the study tries to answer how and why the disease is occurring. So analytic epidemiology is done for the purpose of determining systematically whether or not the risk of disease is different for individuals exposed or not exposed to a factor of interest. Usually in analytic epidemiology, there are two types of study. One is observational, particularly the cohort studies and the case control studies, and another one is the experimental through the randomized control trials, which I'm sure you will also be discussing under the research methods. Okay. An understanding of disease causation in analytic epidemiology helps in the formulation of prevention and control measures. So the disease process involves the interactions of these three phenomena, of these three kinds of factors, namely the agent again, and the host and the environment. So what is the agent? The agent is a factor whose presence or absence causes a disease. So if it's present, it could cause a disease. If it's absent, it can also cause a disease. All right? Environment, on the other hand, refers to all external conditions and influences affecting the lives of the living things, which could be the agent and the host. Well, the host refers to the person, or it could be the person or the client, or a disease can occur in a susceptible host. Okay. Now, to explain further, on the agents could be a biological agent or a physical agent, a chemical agent, an environmental agent, or it could be a psychological agent. Okay? When we talk about biological agents, they refer to the microorganisms, your bacteria, your viruses, etc. And then when we refer to physical agents, they could be the temperature, the radiation exposure, the trauma, etc. Chemical agent refers to these to either acids or alkalis or poisons or tobacco and other toxic substances. Environmental agents might refer to nutrients in the diet or allergens in the environment or others, while psychological agents can refer to the psychological experiences and motivations. Okay? Host factors refers to these specific characteristics, the genetic endowment of the host, the immunologic status, the personal characteristics, the personal behavior, and also it would be good also to understand what is the difference between the definitive host versus the intermediate host, which we will be discussing more specifically when you take up your communicable disease this semester. Okay? Environmental factors refers to, again, the conditions surrounding not the living things. And this could be the living conditions, like, for example, the housing, the space, if it's crowded, water supply, the refuse or the sewage, etc. Also, it could be the atmosphere, the climate, or even the modes of communication. The phenomena in the environment that bring the host and the agent together. Like for example, or like in the case of the vector, the vehicle, or the reservoir. Okay, so epidemiology, um, from all those things that we have discussed, brings us to these purposes. So epidemiology serves these purposes. It elucidates causal mechanisms of disease, and it also explains local disease patterns. It describes the natural history of disease. It provides guidance in administering health services, and it evaluates efficiency of interventions. Okay, our succeeding discussions will help us, will help us understand these purposes or how these purposes are served, in studying epidemiology. All right.